Unhappiness does not unmarry you. I had a conversation this weekend with 5 beautiful girls. They're my daughter's friends. They were all educated in the Catholic school system for 13 or 12 years of their lives. So they should know the Catholic teaching. And one in particular, though they all kind of are on the same page, said, but what if but this couple where there's just so much unhappiness and the husband does this or the wife does that, and then they go back and they always keep drumming up these situations. And I keep going back with church teaching. What marries you are 2 things. Is on the day of your wedding, were you free to consent? And did you give that consent? Were there no impediments, meaning you weren't already married to someone else, you were mentally free, you weren't incapacitated. I've gone over that before. And were you making that decision freely? If those 2 things are in place, it does not matter what happens any other day for the rest of your life. But if we go specifically, because she ended, and you could see she was looking at me like, your arguments are sound, but they don't make sense. And she goes, what if they're just unhappy? And I said, unhappiness doesn't unmarry you. Because if unhappiness unmarried us, how many of you would be unmarried at this point? Because even the happiest of marriages, even in my super couples, for those of you that don't know that I wrote the book, The Super Couple, I interviewed these extremely happily married couples, the cream of the crop, to find out what it took to make a happy marriage. And 100% of them had a formula, and 100% of it's the same formula, sacred, SACRED. Go buy the book. It's great. It'll explain what that formula is, but 100% of those men and women went through an unhappy phase. Were they unmarried? No. See, unhappiness is something we work through. And even if it was something that we didn't have to work through, it doesn't unmarry us. But see, what we're talking about is a feeling, and our culture has gotten so tied into the feeling mentality that if a person feels a certain way, that it's true. I feel unhappy, therefore I'm unmarried. I feel like you offended me, therefore you did, you're bad. I feel like that was racist, though someone may have just made an honest statement. I feel that I'm a man or a woman. I feel all these things. Feelings do not dictate truth. They don't. And I'm sorry, I get riled up like this. I'm like, oh, you guys don't know all the people I talk to, all the things I see in between these videos. I'm like, come on, guys. But I will say, I was like everybody else. I attended weddings that aren't considered valid today. I don't think I'd have ever gone to a gay marriage. But I used to think, well, they were born that way. And I thought all the same things. I too saw the church's second marriages, didn't like it. I didn't really understand why the annulments came through until I understood the scandal of the annulment system, at least in America. Annulment process is good and necessary. It's just being abused by many, and not you guys as much as people on tribunals and the laws that were changed. And well, I don't want to get into that. Someone beat me up in the comments last time. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video is we have to stick with truth. And it wasn't until I started looking at truth, studying the church, going to Mass, receiving the grace, asking the Lord to open my eyes, open my mind, that I realized, wow, I was blind. Now I see. There's a song written like that once. You ought to check it out. It's pretty good. But I look at my daughter's beautiful friends, very intelligent, got 4-year scholarships, a 6-figure income, great heart, the best friends anyone could ever have. But they too have been either misguided or not properly formed by the church in regards to marriage. And what we have not, I'm trying to say,
pray for your friends and family, like these young ladies, like everyone I talk to, that our eyes are opened. But we have to pray that our eyes are opened. We have to want to see truth, to go, Lord, if I'm not seeing something right, reveal it to me. And he will. Ask and you shall receive, right? Knock and the door will be opened.
God wants to open the door to our minds. I do these videos not making you think that I think that you're not telling the truth and you say how miserable your marriage is. Oh, I get that. I see so many people. You should see the things I see.
The people I talk to, the things that I'm like, wow, wow. There is so much hurt and brokenness out there. And I know your marriage may be one of them.
Your unhappiness doesn't unmarry you.
So what are your choices? I've said this before. Your choice is to walk this journey, again, assuming you're not being beaten and you got to always get out and get safe. Even that doesn't unmarry you, though. But your choices are to say, Lord, I continue to carry my cross. I was just telling a young lady today, 40-year-old beautiful woman, you have been chosen because she's safe. Her husband's not hurting her, but she's in a brutal marriage. The verbal things, the hurtful things. And I said, other women would have cut and run, and yet here you are. When she goes to heaven, she will be at a higher level than those of you who had good marriages. Presumptively, if her whole life were in line with this analogy of her marriage. Those who carry the heaviest crosses on earth have the highest rewards in heaven. Those of us who carry light crosses have light rewards. Heaven's heaven, man. I just want to get there, even if I'm the last one and I'm like pulling on St. Peter's cloak. Let me in before you close that gate.
But the saints, the mystics, the church also teaches how people in heaven will be somehow different, somehow with greater jewels in their crowns, greater glory, based on what they did here on earth. The martyrs, I can only imagine what they look like. They shed blood. I love you. I don't have to know you to love you. But I love you because you're watching this video, and that means you want to learn to do God's will. And oh, he's in love with you. And he does see your pain. He does see your hurt. And just because you get a greater reward doesn't mean he's going, oh, suck it up, man. You're going to be greater up here. He's like, my baby, my precious daughter, my precious son. I know I grieve with you. That spouse of yours should not be hurting you. But he is broken. She is broken, just like we all are. Carry that cross. There is an incredible peace. It does come over you, knowing you're doing it for Christ. And in a way, even in the most brutal of crosses, it seems less heavy because you've accepted it, if that makes sense. So the heaviest of crosses are less heavy based on whether or not you accept it. Receive the joy. There's some saints, I think it was St. John of the Cross, who cried out to God one day he didn't suffer. Why do you not love me? You didn't give me any suffering. Those saints, and I wish I could be like them, they saw the beauty in suffering. So the problem, ladies and gentlemen, with this is that we look at unhappiness as if it's just a cross. We have to look at the beauty that comes in the carrying of it. Do not use culture as your measuring stick. Because if you do that, you are going down a wide path. Don't forget, Satan owns the culture. He owns the world. Well, he leases it.
God's letting him be the king of the world for a time. God is the landlord.
The culture is wrong. The church is right. God is true. His word that said you are married
Only until death.
is unquestionable. You need help. Because you're like, okay, Christian, I'll carry this cross. I don't know how I'm going to do it. You contact me. I'll help you. Find me at ChristineBreakfastWithBacon.com. Until then, keep your eyes fixed on the Lord. Keep your heart firmly set on Jesus, his laws. He'll get you through. I'm Dr. Christine Bacon. Thanks for watching another informational Bacon Bit. And as always, I want to remind you to live your life, even when it's a little bit scrambled, sunny side up.